Darcy,
Elizabeth Ann Darling.
Annette Andrea Donovan.
Edward A. Diatri, Michael D. Dioria,
Lawrence Davidson,
Michael Allen Davidson, Scott Matthew Davidson,
Titus Davidson.
Every Jamaican has a pet name. Everyone. And so for years, I did not know my father's name was Titus. Years. I would call him Barry. And in Jamaicans say Barry, but Barry. Came across a document he had, and it said Titus. And I was like, Dad, who's Titus? And he was like, oh, that's my name. And I was like, that's amazing. I love that name. So now I'm like, Titus, you are the Titan of all things. You are Titus in my heart. He was there during the first attacks, and when that initial attack happened, I believe I was in high school, and I told him, Dad, you should get a different job. I don't like this job for you. When he would want me to come to his job, he'd make me come upstairs, and I would hate it. I hate traveling 40-odd stories to go upstairs so he could tell people, this is my daughter. She's going to Columbia. She's doing this. And I'd be like, okay, Dad. He didn't get to have an education or the education he wanted. And so he was always instilling in me, you have to finish school. You have to do well. This is your legacy is my legacy. And he was my cheerleader.
This is a special report from News Channel 4.
I was getting ready to go to work. I turned the TV on like I do in the morning, and it was actually a news station.
We are looking at a picture now of the World Trade Center, and we have an eyewitness on the telephone who tells us that he has seen an airplane crash into the World Trade Center.
And I was kind of like stunned. I ended up trying to call my dad at work because he worked in World Trade II. And I was trying feverishly, and I couldn't get through to him. It just kept ringing and ringing and ringing. And I just kind of sat there sort of staring at the TV. And then he called me. And I was like, whew, okay, good. You're okay. We're fine. I said, Dad, the building is on fire. I'm watching it right now. It's on fire. You have to get out. And he said, no, I have to help a woman get out of the bathroom. And I was like, okay, please just hurry up. I know you have to do that, but hurry up and just leave the building. It's fine. And I kind of was like, okay, I'm good. It's fine. It's not your building, because he was in World Trade II, and I believe World Trade I was the one that initially got hit. So I'm thinking in my head, you have plenty of time to get out. It's going to be okay. So then he said, okay, he goes, don't worry. I love you. I'll call you right back, okay? And then I hear a rumbling in the background, and it was like, I looked up at the TV screen, and then I see the building falling. And then I hear him screaming my name. He said my name like 3 times, and I'm shouting his name. And then we get disconnected. And then that was it.
To hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act.
That's my dad. His name is Titus Davidson. And as he's small in stature, he's only 5'5". But his heart, huge. And that day, even though he wasn't a first responder, he stood shoulder to shoulder with all the first responders. That's just who he is. He's giving. This quiet giant. He's like a titan. He is. That's my dad. That's Titus. I hold on to hope for days, months, and maybe even years, hoping that one day you would appear, but nothing left to touch, no remnants ever found. Where the towers lay is your sacred burial ground. Now I only see you in dreams and in pictures still too painful to view. I often wonder if you were here, what amazing things we'd do. Normally we have it on the mantle, some of the items sort of spread out, so that when we come in, I want to make sure that I always see that he's a part of this house. He's a part of here. So my dad, he didn't smoke, but he liked the smell of cigars. And I believe someone brought that cigar for him. I found it in his things, but I always knew when I would visit him that he had cigars sort of packaged nicely and around. And that was one that was already used, so I knew that either he had, I don't know if he smoked it or that somehow he had touched it. And so that was his. And so that kind of makes me feel like I have a part of him as well. It feels like every September 11th, everyone, not as scary and as sad, but always there. And so I like to talk about him on September 11th. I like to also just be with myself on September 11th so that I can have that time with him to just think and remember and reflect. But I do like to share his story with whoever will listen to me. Even my kids at work, I share my story. That is the most profound thing, that's the most amazing gift he could have given me. Because today I can sit here and say, I heard his voice for the last time. He said my name, he said I love you. And that's enough for me. That's enough for me.